I've rescued many stray animals throughout my life, but the rescue that scared me the most was a tiny kitten who never made a sound. The pain in his eyes was impossible to miss. He looked like he had completely lost all hope. That day, only one question kept running through my mind. Would this little kitten ever be able to love again? The day I adopted Kelvin, I wasn't sure he would ever be happy again. He was only a few months old when he arrived at the shelter, and no one knew what he had been through. The only thing we knew was that he was terrified of people and other animals alike. When I picked him up, his tiny body was trembling. I couldn't leave him at the shelter any longer. But as I drove him home, I had only one concern. My sweet, gentle dog, Jewel, who had been by my side for years. I kept repeating the same sentence in my mind. Please, don't be afraid of each other. More than anything, I wanted them to become good friends. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't be easy. The first day went exactly as I expected. Kelvin made the space beneath the couch his safe place. But from the very first day, Jewel was incredibly gentle with him. She simply watched him from a distance. She never came closer. She just waited. Several weeks passed like that, and nothing seemed to change. Then, little by little, things started to change. Kelvin stopped hiding under the couch. A few days later, they were lying together in the same patch of sunlight by the window. Before long, they were sleeping on opposite ends of the same couch. Then one morning, the distance between them disappeared completely. Jewel was asleep when Kelvin quietly walked over and gently rested his head on her shoulder. She didn't even open her eyes. She simply leaned a little closer to him. I smiled to myself and thought, I guess they've finally become friends. But I couldn't have been more wrong. What I was seeing was only a small part of their story. One day, I started watching the security camera footage. For hours, nothing happened. Then Jewel lay down in her favorite spot. A few minutes later, Kelvin walked over to her. First, he gently rubbed his face against hers. Then he placed his tiny paws on her chest and started making soft little biscuits, almost as if he were trying to comfort her. At that very moment, Jewel's entire body relaxed. She rested her head against Kelvin. She closed her eyes. And that was when I finally understood. When I was home, they acted like friends. But when I wasn't there, they carried each other's burdens. Over the next few days, I watched more of the recordings. Every single day, it happened the same way. Jewel would lie down first. A few minutes later, Kelvin would quietly walk over. He would rub his face against hers. Then he would gently knead her with his tiny paws. Before long, the two of them would peacefully fall asleep together. Then I noticed something else. For years, Jewel had struggled with separation anxiety. Whenever I left the house, she would wait anxiously by the front door. But after Kelvin came into her life, that behavior almost completely disappeared. She no longer waited by the door because she didn't have to. The one she trusted most was already right there beside her. Sometimes I think back to the day I adopted Kelvin. I believed I was rescuing him, but the truth was, he wasn't the only one who needed saving. That day, I didn't just bring home a frightened little kitten. I brought Jewel the best friend she never even knew she was missing. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about love. No matter how painful your past may be, when you finally find the right heart to trust, you don't just heal yourself. Without even realizing it, you begin to heal someone else too.